And to discuss this and more, I'm joined by Ambassador Vivek Karju, former Secretary, Indian Ministry of External Affairs. Thank you very much for being here on the broadcast. What do you make of the fact that these 8 Indian Navy veterans have been held without charges for 7 months? No charges yet. They have been held in solitary confinement, which is the worst form of imprisonment leading to mental torture.
I think your indignation and the concerns of the families are entirely justified. Given the circumstances of the case, I think any Indian who hears that 8 Navy officers, former Navy officers, are in such detention would be horrified and very upset. But I would agree with Minister Jaishankar when he says that this case, and I would add that such cases are indeed very sensitive. And therefore, they require to be dealt with diplomatically in a very sensitive manner. The problem is, and that is your problem, as I can see, and that is my problem, too, that there is nothing in the public domain about the reasons why these people have been, these officers or former officers have been detained. Now, the fact that no judicial charges have been framed as yet can be looked upon in 2 ways, Molly. The first is that we in India are used to due process. We are used to procedures established by law to be followed, even in cases involving espionage. And in our case, the police and other investigating agencies are bound by the law very strictly to produce people before magistrates, etc., once they've been detained or arrested. I think in West Asia, especially in Gulf states, they follow a different legal system. So I, for one, I'm aware of this, having served there. The second point is that it is my experience that these cases are best resolved diplomatically. Now, the minister has said, and the MEA has said repeatedly, that we are engaged with the Qataris. And I'm sure that as part of this engagement, some information which would be available with our authorities, which they are not disclosing for entirely understandable reasons, because the disclosure of this information can harm the interests of these 8 officers. Therefore, what we can legitimately expect of our government and of the External Affairs Minister and the diplomats is that the engagement that they have with Qatar on this matter is expedited, is intensified, that our concerns are fully conveyed to them. Secondly, there is this question that we don't know whether these officers have been extended consular access. Now, as you know, anyone who is detained by a foreign authority has the right of getting to meet his accredited representatives of that country. So that is a question that any of these family members and others can legitimately ask of our government whether they have been granted consular access. And if they haven't been granted consular access, then what are the Qataris saying for denying consular access to these officers? That is a legitimate question. And in fact, that is a question that we have to ask our government, because it is only when our representatives meet these officers that they would get an opportunity to hear their side of the story. Because as of now, we are all in the dark. And I'm not bothered of being in the dark. As long as I'm assured, and I think their families are assured, that the government is engaged, purposefully engaged, trying to expedite this and get this matter resolved, as so that what the official spokesperson of the ministry is saying is shown to be factually correct, that we are working for the earliest return and repatriation to India.
Absolutely. As the ambassador is pointing out, a series of questions. Why are they being held in solitary confinement? Why is Qatar refusing to grant them bail? Why have no charges been placed against them? The list of questions is long. You can join our Gravitas campaign, #BringOurVeteransHome, as we continue to raise these questions, thanking Ambassador Kaju as well for helping us better understand these developments and what really is going on. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.